The Christmas Letters, Celebrating Advent with Those Who Told the Story First, by Magrey R. DeVega. Chapter 4, Fully Divine, Peace Through Christ, pages 127 through 130, and this chapter's reflection questions. The Christmas Letters. Throughout this journey, we have discovered insights into the Incarnation from some of the earliest witnesses in Christian history. Each one has helped us to see how the arrival of Jesus into the world has forever shaped our view of God, ourselves, and our relationship with God. Romans showed us the beauty of the long view, both as a remembrance of the past and the work of God into the future. Just as the birth of Jesus was part of a grand story that stretched from the beginning of time and into eternity, God is working in your life the same way. Remember what God has done in your life and give thanks. Claim the promised future that God is unfolding in your life, and don't give up. The epistles of John help us to see the incarnation of Jesus as a fulfillment of God's intended creation, Genesis, a light for us amid the darkness, the Gospel of John, and an embodiment of God's love for all people, 1 John. Whenever you are feeling lost and confused, Jesus is there for you through the fellowship of others, as you surround one another in relationships of both love and truth. Philippians points us to the way of Jesus, who embodied humility, curiosity, and empathy. These are important antidotes to the brokenness and division that plague our culture today. By becoming fully human and obedient to the mission to which God had called him, he showed us how to offer ourselves in service to others. The Incarnation therefore gives us a pathway to both servanthood and joy as we fully live into our potential and make a difference in the world. And here, in Colossians, we see the incarnation of Christ's glorious divinity. He was there since the beginning, as creator of all things. He lives in us still, co-creating a new future for each of us who calls him Lord. As we ponder the wonder of the infant Jesus, we see in his face the glory of all that has been created, and we even discover the potential of new creation within ourselves. We see in Jesus all that has been, will be, and is becoming, moment by moment. Hopefully, this journey has expanded your view of the impact of the Incarnation. While we most often associate Jesus' birth with the classic infancy narratives in the Gospels, these letters show us that even before those stories were written down, and as they were being circulated in oral tradition, the significance of Jesus' arrival on earth was already being pondered by the earliest Christian communities. The question for each of us today is, what difference does this make? How will you make the story of Christmas more than a tale that is recounted from our history, but instead an ongoing, lived reality that shapes lives and transforms communities? How will you receive these letters of old and make them alive again in your life? God's Christmas letter to you. My child, there is so much wonder and awe that I wish for you to experience this Christmas. Soon, you will be joining with loved ones and friends to celebrate the birth of my Son. I am eager to see your face brim with joy as you light the candles, sing the carols, and hear the ancient stories from the Gospels that I have shared for generations. Pay special attention this year to the deeper meaning of the rituals of Christmas. You're not just celebrating a story from long ago. You are remembering that in Jesus, I have always been with you, and I always will be. His infant body contained the origin of the cosmos and the source of my infinite love for you. He was, and still is, the best and fullest reflection of who I am. When you look at Jesus, you see all of me, my presence, my power, my grace, all of it. I know this is hard to fathom. I created the human mind to be imaginative and adept at learning new things. But you have limits in what you can understand. That's where your faith steps in. It allows you to stretch out your hand so that I can take yours into mine. And then I'll help you sense the everyday wonder of my presence all around you and within you. You'll discover hope, rooted in all I have done for you in the past, which will guide you into even the most unsettled, unknown parts of your future. You'll discover love, incarnate in Jesus and in your relationships with others, reminding you that you are not alone. You'll discover joy, immeasurable and valuable, that will enable you to serve others with empathy, curiosity, and humility. And you'll find peace in the midst of even your deepest brokenness, because I am here, reconciling you and all things to myself. This Christmas, may you remember more than just a story about Jesus' birth. May you discover new life in me each and every day with eyes wide open. That is my wish for you. Merry Christmas. Sincerely, God. Here are your reflection questions for Chapter 4. What songs constitute your reminiscence bump? When you hear these songs, what do you recall about your younger self? What songs come to mind when you think about the adolescent stage of your faith? Were there hymns or songs that you associate with the early days of your belief? In what ways has your life been transformed by Jesus, like the characters in the Christmas narrative? When you consider Jesus, what do you come to know about God? How does pondering the infinity and vastness of the universe expand your view of Jesus? How will you make Jesus the center of your life? How will you make the Christmas story more than something you remember, but instead something you live out? What will you do to make sure you don't miss what God wants to reveal to you this Christmas? And what key insights have you learned from this Advent journey? How will you apply them all year round?